Thanks again for joining me here at butnowministry.org. And today we're going to talk about part 2 of the King James Bible, the Textus Receptus, and Easter. And we had finished off last time with what text was considered when putting together the King James Bible. For openers, they had to Complutensian Polyglot of 1517 and the Antwerp Polyglot of 1572. This provided them with multiple Greek and Hebrew translations, as well as other versions in other tongues. So multiple translations of Hebrew and Greek at their disposal. Although Vaticanus and Sinaiticus had yet to be discovered, they had the same readings in the Popish Latin Vulgate. On their table, you would also find fragments of early scrolls and countless comments from commentaries by early church leaders. Often they referred to Chrysostom, 347 and 407 AD. It would be correct to say that although we have more manuscripts today, we have no readings that were unavailable to the King James translators. Let me repeat that. Although we have more manuscripts today, we have no readings that were unavailable to the King James translators. Further, the King James translators benefited from the works that had gone before. Martin Luther's German, John Wycliffe's Bible of 1384, William Tyndale's translation of 1525, Miles Coverdale's of 1535, John Rogers Matthew's translation of 1537, the Great Bible of 1539, Richard Taverner's of 1539, the Calvinistic Geneva of 1560, and it is critical to point out that they had the Roman Catholic readings found in Vaticanus, Sinaiticus, the New International Version, the New American Standard, the TLB, the Amplified, etc., in that they had the Reims Dewey of 1582, because those new translations come from the Reims Dewey. Okay? So let's get that clear. That's where they got that Sinaiticus Vaticanus. In their production of the King James Bible, the translators also used the Soncino Hebrew text of 1488, Boomberg's of 1516, the Rabbinic Bibles of Prantensens of 1517, the Ben Shaim of 1525, and the Stephanus of 1539. Additional Greek texts, and by the way, the Stephanus of 1550, which is what they also used, and that's in my next paragraph here. You can get a great book called The Interlinear Greek-English New Testament King James Version by George Ricker Berry. Okay? It actually has the Stephanus 1550 translated in English compared to the King James Bible. So you can see where it's so different in so many places. Okay? It's great to have that because so many people say it's the same as the Textus Receptus, which, like I said by the comment of this person on YouTube, which one? Okay, I'm going to name off a few right here. I just named off, well, I'm going to name off a few Textus Receptuses here. Additional Greek texts on their desks were the Erasmus of 1516, 1519, 1522, 1527, and 1535. Colenius of 1534, Stephanus. Okay, I just mentioned the 1550. There's also the 1546, the 1549, and the 1535. There's the Beza of 1565, 1582, 1588, and 1598. The Nuremberg Polyglot of 1599. The Syriac of Widmanstadt of 1555. And Tremelius of 1559, the Spanish de Reina of 1569, and de Valara of 1602, the French of d'Etaples of 1530, the Olivetan of 1535, the Louvain faculty of 1550, the Geneva pastors of 1588, the Italian of Brucioli of 1530, and the Diadate of 1607. In addition to Luther's German Bible, They also had the Zurich of 1529, Latin versions of Paginus of 1528, Judah of 1543, Castalio of 1555, Montanus of 1572, Tremelius of 1579, and of course, the Latin Vulgate. What's ironic, and this is what this person says, right, back in his email, back in his post on my YouTube. What's ironic is that the King James Version is translated from the Textus Receptus, which was written by a Catholic priest. Really. The next time someone says to you that the King James is an English translation of the Textus Receptus Greek, you know you are dealing with an argumentative ignoramus who wants you to leave your King James Bible and end up with no Bible at all. That's what these pastors and scholars do. That's what the Pope does. Most of these seminaries, and I gave you 32 seminaries in one of my other messages on my station, 32 seminaries that claim the King James Bible is only 98% accurate. So I guess that means your salvation is 98% accurate. That means the Lord Jesus Christ, who is God, the creator of all things, the Godhead in the flesh, is only 98% accurate. That means that what Richard Jordan preaches at Shorewood would be right, and we know it's horribly wrong, okay? So when you take the side, again, of the Textus Receptus pretenders, you will end up with no Bible at all. Now that we all understand that the King James 1769, let me say that again, the King James 1769, not the 1611, okay? The 1611, which most of these pastors and scholars and commentators leave out, is that they don't even know how many different 1611 versions there are, okay? But the 1769 stands apart from all other English translations because the King James translators, you ready for this? Rejected the Codex Sinaiticus, the Codex Vaticanus, the Septuagint, and a handful of other manuscripts which are the basis of all translations since 1881. So that would be your Roman Catholic text. The King James Bible translators rejected it. But you know who didn't reject it? All your new translations. Your Jehovah's Witness text, which is the same as your New American Standard, which is the same as your ESV, which is the same as your New King James, which is the same as your New Century Version, which is the same as all your corrupt, critical, Roman Catholic, Sinaiticus, Vaticanus text of Westcott and Hort, who, by the way, did not believe in a literal creation, did not believe in Jesus Christ's miracles, did not believe, well, since they didn't believe in the creation account, they believed in evolution. Isn't that nice? And that's the Greek text I'm guessing that this YouTube poster is leaning on. Most do. Because when you tell most people that they don't have a Bible, they have a translation, their eyeballs roll back in their head. We must now deal with